Hit the like button. It is absolutely free. It won't cost you a single thing. Help us grow. Subscribe to the channel. And if you have some small children in the room, you may want to put your earbuds in because this episode is not for the ears of a child. This Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial has been informative, educational, and on some days entertaining. I mean, it is absolutely crazy some of the things we are learning in this trial. I recall on day one, Amber Heard's attorney Elaine Bredehoff asked her some background questions, the kind of things like, where did you grow up, which was Austin, Texas? Where did you attend high school? Where did you go to college? And one of the things she revealed during her testimony was that she went to a private Catholic high school and she learned how to sign. If you know what this sign represents, drop down in the comments and tell me if you agree with this statement by my mom. My mom stated, Amber Heard is going to need this. If you know what this represents in American Sign Language, drop down in the comments and educate the chat on what this sign language represents. And if you agree that she's going to need this. I disagree. I don't think this is going to help this woman at all. But anyway, welcome to the show. How's everybody doing? If you haven't already hit that like button, go ahead and hit that like button. I have 3 points I want to make about this Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial. Was addiction on trial or was Amber Heard on trial for defamation? Was addiction on trial or was Amber Heard on trial for defamation? My thoughts haven't changed much since week 1. I felt as though there wasn't a compelling case against Johnny Depp for abuse because there was so much time from week 1 to week 6, day 22. So much time has been spent talking about Johnny Depp's addiction. If there was a compelling case for abuse, those 6 weeks should have been spent talking about the abuse. But there was so much deflection from abuse to addiction. So I didn't buy it. I knew week 1, they don't have a case. I don't care what you ask this woman. She would have answered with Johnny and the Coke. You could have said, Amber, what is the color of your natural hair? This woman would have answered Johnny and the Coke. Everything was about cocaine, pills, alcohol, weed. And again, if you are still getting high, you're a low-key dope fiend, a low-key alcoholic. You cannot walk on the back of my heels in my house talking about I should get sober. I should go into treatment. I should detox. You can't talk to me about benders and monsters and all kind of BS. And you still getting high? Oh my God, I would have gotten this woman out of my face real quick. She would have walked off from me. But again, she knows her husband. If she was afraid of him, do you honestly think she would have been walking on the back of his heels like that, talking about treatment and addiction, and she's still getting high off of mushrooms and MDMA? Oh my goodness. Drop down in the comments if you feel as though addiction was on trial. You can't shame someone for having an addiction if you are enjoying the same cocaine. I'm just saying. She could have very easily stated, he was a terrible husband, and everybody would have believed her because addicts behave the way addicts do. But to lie And to say that someone sexually assaulted you and you can't provide any proof that they did it, but you were very sophisticated with providing proof for everything else. Point number 2, are we to believe that Amber Heard did not safeguard any evidence of this alleged sexual assault against her by her husband? Are we to believe it occurred and she did not safeguard any evidence of it? Through the testimony, we learn that Amber Heard loved pressing that little red button on whatever device she had handy. If it was the iPad or the phone, she got a kick out of recording her husband. She has a comprehensive, catalog of transgressions that he has committed against her. But on the night that he commits the most vicious, intimate crime against her, she doesn't take a photograph of anything. Are we to believe that? I think she was sophisticated enough to, if this really happened, to address it later by pressing that little red button, bringing up the conversation and saying, hey, you know what you did to me, and coax him into confessing to it if it really happened. But she knows that it didn't happen. So that's the reason why there's no recording and there's no video of him, confessing to it, because it didn't happen. Because we know she was recording a lot of their arguments, which I thought was crazy. So I already participated in the argument, and now I have the argument on my phone, and I'm going to replay the argument for him because he's too drunk to remember it. You were recording him for later. The only reason why someone records something is to embarrass someone later. That would be the only reason to do it. Because who wants to have the argument in real time, have the argument on the phone for the replay, and then we're going to do this thing for a third time? That's crazy. Point number 3, does intuition lie? Does it ever fail us? Intuition. Week 1, day 2 or 3 into the testimony, I had a gut feeling that this woman was lying. She was lying her ass off. All of the fake crying with no tears. All of the I don't remembers, I don't recall. I wasn't buying it. There was no way this woman was afraid of her husband and she was walking in his house on his heels telling him to suck her you know what. There's no way she's afraid of him. I don't care how she sliced it and diced it. She gave me guilty every time I watched the trial. That's all she gave, was guilty. This is a problem with, some of these movements. Me Too. Believe all women. Because you'll have some witches that will outright lie. And not everybody has the money to mount a defense like Johnny Depp does. And someone will end up doing real time because somebody lied and took it all the way to court. This woman is sick. She needs to do at least 3 to 5 years and 10 years probation. And somebody need to check on that baby and that dog. Because this woman is sick. Seriously. It was so simple You got $7 million in the divorce settlement. You guys had no children. Charge it to the game and keep it moving. That's all you had to do. We get it. He was an addict. He wasn't a great husband, but you guys were drinking and getting high together. And you can't make an addict seek treatment until they're ready. And we can see from your testimony that you're educated enough to know that. But my intuition told me, without seeing much evidence, this woman is lying. She's lying. She's guilty of defamation. Maybe she wanted to be the face of Me Too. But now, Johnny Depp is the face of Men Too. Rightfully so. If a man was abusive, do you think he would be running from room to room and house to house from his wife? No. He would have punched her in the face and she would have stepped back if he was truly abusive. Physically abusive, because I think they were both verbally abusive. And whether or not she pooed in his bed, whether it was the dog, who knows who pooed in that man's bed? She is still, in my opinion, guilty of defamation, because the most serious allegation against him was a sexual assault and she didn't prove it. This is the sign for Jesus. My mom said this woman needs Jesus. I don't know what she needs. I know she needs some supervised probation. That much I know. Don't forget to hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the notifications bell on the way out. I'll talk to you tomorrow night. Good night.